Test, 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 test.
Test, test. Statement. Loen selle lihtsalt. Vaata, et 3 minuti sisse võiks jääda. Natukene lenda sopa sisse.
Kas te tahate seda ise siit kontrollida nupust või...
Kontrollige teie.
Kontrollime teie. Eks praegu on ta väljas, siis andke märku. Me kontrollime, kas võtame praegu välja ja siis te annate meile mingi märgu anda ja me paneme sisse. Ma ei näinud seda nuppu praegu siin, et ma ei... Super.
Okay, thank you very much. We can begin with a press conference. Welcome everybody to Tapa. Briefly, the agenda is as follows. We start with short statements by the ministers and deputy ministers. Second, ministers and heads of delegations have opportunity to sign a joint declaration about the outcome of today's meeting. Third, we will have a group photo taken. And after the photo, media has the opportunity for one-on-one interviews with the ministers and other heads of delegation. We also have British and Estonian military personnel ready to explain the pieces of equipment you can see in the background. Finally, the interviews need to be concluded by around 1600. Then the ministers and the delegations will move on to the next hangar to meet Estonian and Allied troops based here in Tapa. That's all from me. We start with the statements, beginning with the two initiators of this meeting. First up is the Estonian Minister of Defense, Hanno Pevkur, please.
So welcome everybody, and welcome to Camp Tapa, or as we say in Estonia, Tapa military base. This base is a testimony how Estonian and Allied troops work side by side each and every day. I thank all the allies who gathered here today to find the ways to provide military aid to Ukraine. My special gratitude goes to our close ally, the United Kingdom, for leading this initiative with us. In these turbulent times, we have to show leadership. Donating modern Western-made main battle tanks is leadership at its best. Russia's aggression against Ukraine poses a significant and direct threat to Allied security and to the peace and stability in the Euro-Atlantic area we have not witnessed in decades. As Russia continues its war in Ukraine by destroying its infrastructure, brutalizing its population, and occupying 20% of its territory, the West must stay united and continue supporting Ukraine with military aid. Ukraine has shown incredibly courage by defending its people, territory, freedom, and the values that are important to all of us. Today's initiative here in Estonia is about showing our solidarity, our commitment. In order to do that, we have to make sacrifices, as the Ukrainians are making them every day. What Ukraine needs most is heavy weaponry to hold the initiative and stand against Russia, who is currently making efforts to regain its military strength. Our estimate is that the hardest battles are still ahead. Estonian government has just today decided to support Ukraine with the biggest military aid package to date, worth of 113 million euros. Its centerpiece are FH-70 155mm howitzers. Just behind me, you can see them. But the package also consists of 122mm howitzers, grenade launchers, vehicles, and a considerable amount of artillery and other ammunition. It is enough for Ukraine to equip several battalions and stand efficiently against the Russian aggressor. The current aid package will increase the Estonian military aid to Ukraine over 370 million euros. This is more than 1% of Estonia's GDPs. And if we take European Union, then our European Union GDP is approximately 40.5 to 15 trillion of euros. So when we consider and take the same percentage to European Union, we could have helped Ukraine by the date approximately with 150 billion euros. So this is something we encourage to do others also, and to help Ukraine as much as possible, because they need this help. In addition to the equipment, we will provide training for the Ukrainian armed forces, and as we speak, Ukrainians are getting the training also here in Estonia. To conclude, Allied assistance has a direct impact on the combat capability of Ukrainian troops and is highly valued in Ukraine. Our assistance makes a difference on the battlefield. It is important that by giving heavy weaponry to Ukraine, we open up new horizons to help them win this fight for the freedom. And let's do not forget, they are fighting also for us. They are fighting for our freedom. They are fighting for the rule-based world. What else to say here now as we speak? Slava Ukraini.
Thank you very much. Now I kindly ask co-initiators of today's meeting, Secretary of State for Defense of the United Kingdom, Ben Wallace, to make a statement.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, and thank you, Estonia, for hosting us today. It was important to come here because while we're often focused on Ukraine, we shouldn't forget that countries like the countries in the Baltics are right on the front line of Russia, who may or may not seek to put pressure on those neighbors. And as you stand here in this hangar, you have Danish tanks, you have French military serving here, you have British and Estonian doing the other part of the job, which is reassurance on the borders and boundaries of NATO, that we are determined to defend ourselves as well as support Ukraine. When President Putin started the invasion on the 24th of February, he made a number of assumptions. The first one being that Ukrainians would not fight. The second one being that his superior military, as he thought about it, would quickly crush any resistance, and by now, in fact within 3 weeks, he would be pretty much in control of Ukraine. And finally, he banked on the fact that he thought the international community was fickle, that it wouldn't stick together, that we wouldn't see it through, and indeed by now we'd have all got bored and been bullied by high energy prices. Well, none of those have turned out to be true. 2023 is about demonstrating to Putin that that last point, the point that the international community isn't fractured, that the international community is more than ever determined to stand by Ukraine to see it through. You know, we are here today and we'll be here tomorrow in Ramstein in the United States, hosted a Ramstein conference with many more of our both NATO partners but also other non-NATO nations, to make it very clear to President Putin that we will continue to donate, continue to train, and continue to stand by Ukraine. Because if President Putin is banking on us getting bored this year, he's wrong. We will plan for this year and next year and the year after and beyond. And as the Prime Minister of Finland, I think, referenced yesterday, this is for the long haul. We're in it for the long haul. But in 2023, It's time to turn the momentum that the Ukrainians have achieved in pushing back Russia into gains and making sure that Russia understands that the purpose now is to push them back out of Ukraine and to restore Ukraine's sovereignty, which is their right under international law. It's their right in being able to defend themselves, and it's also in their right because it is the same rights we all enjoy as free members of Europe to hold up to human rights and international standards. The United Kingdom has unlocked a number of packages in the last year. We're going further. Beginning of this week, I announced to Parliament that we will send a squadron of Challenger 2 main battle tanks to Ukraine. We will send at least 3 batteries of AS-90 155 long-range deep-fire artillery. We will send a number of armoured vehicles, including I think it's the Bulldog, which is a variant of the old 432 armoured personnel carrier, thousands of rounds of ammunition, and today I can say we're also going to send another 600 Brimstone missiles into theatre, which will be incredibly important in helping Ukraine dominate the battlefield. We'll be working tomorrow with obviously the United States and others to make sure that this package is put into Ukraine in the right way, that it enables Ukraine, and underlying all of that is the enduring training package that we are all engaged in around not only Europe but also in the United Kingdom. We've just started, as of this week, another round of training, basic training in Ukrainians. Britain's aim is to train at least 20,000. There may be more training, and we are helped by that from everyone from Lithuania, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Australia, New Zealand, I'm just trying to run it, Estonia here, and the Dutch as well. So we've got a significant number of nations helping out, and we're going to carry on. So if the message from this is one thing, it's we're not going anywhere, Mr. Putin. We're here for the long haul. We're standing by Ukraine. You need to recalculate. You need to make a change. You need to leave Ukraine, return it to its sovereign borders, and uphold the international law that you say you respect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now the Lithuanian Minister of Defense, Arvydas Anušauskas.
Minister Pevkur, Secretary of War, thank you for organizing this meeting. The war situation called for more to be done in support of Ukrainian armed forces. By now, Lithuania's lethal support amount to 283 million euros. Our next delivery will be L-70 anti-aircraft guns with 1,000 pieces ammunition and MA-8 helicopters. Still this year, we will invest 30 million euros for procurements in support of Ukraine's military. This will include anti-drones, optics, thermovisual devices, and drones. The type of equipment that will enable Ukrainian soldiers to have superiority in the battlefield. Also, we are joining the UK International Fund by transferring 2 million euros for financing the heavy weaponry acquisitions projects such as artillery system and ammunition, direct fire platform, or fighting vehicles. In parallel, we conduct training of Ukrainian officers and soldiers. This year, we plan to allocate 4 million euros to train up to 1,500 Ukrainians. The training will take part in 4 different formats: nationality under EU MAM and Interflex, and with Nordic countries. Last year, 150 wanted Ukrainians received treatment and rehabilitation in Lithuania. Our medical institutions are prepared to provide urgent medical care to Ukrainian soldiers wanted at war. In conclusion, I would like to state that Lithuania fully supports the UK initiative delivery of tanks to Ukraine. The support to Ukraine armed forces cannot be limited. We urge all the nations that can support Ukraine with tanks to do the same. I do hope that tomorrow in Ramstein, the needs of fighting Ukrainian armed forces will be met, so they can continue liberating the territories. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Deputy Defense Minister of Czech Republic, Jan Jireš, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, let me thank the United Kingdom and Estonia for convening and hosting this meeting in preparation of the meeting at Ramstein tomorrow. It was a very useful and frank meeting. We had a very frank discussion. Of course, we need to keep supporting Ukraine militarily, not just because it's our moral obligation, but also because it's a strategic necessity, which means that we will keep supplying Ukraine with whatever it needs as long as it takes. And I think this was a general consensus of all the countries participating in the meeting today. As I said, it was a very frank exchange. It wasn't just blah, blah. We really discussed concrete projects, and I would highlight two areas. One area is really looking for efficient ways. Different kind of projects are either bilateral or multilateral to harness and promote the capacities and expertise of our defense industries across Europe. And the second issue I would highlight is, and that's again what we all agreed, what is crucial is sustainment and the maintenance capacity provided to Ukrainians so that actually they can use the equipment they have already been supplied or they simply have for as long as possible and as efficiently as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now the Deputy Defense Minister of the Slovak Republic, Marian Mayer, please.
Good afternoon, Ministers, Secretary. Thank you, first of all, for having this meeting. This is a very strong signal, as was said before, to Mr. Putin and to Russia, that we are still staying very strong and we are ready to sustain with our support to Ukraine. Although all of our countries, not only countries which are meeting here today, but other countries of Europe and United States and Canada are doing the best to help Ukraine, and we did our best in last almost a year. But we understand the needs on the Ukrainian battlefield, and that's why we are here to identify, and will be continue to do so tomorrow in Ramstein, Germany, to discuss what more we can do to help the Ukrainians. And speaking on behalf of the Slovak government, Slovakia stands ready together with our allies and partners to help Ukrainians as much as possible and to identify both military and humanitarian aid to help Ukrainians to prevail in this war. And I'm sure Ukraine will prevail. We just need to stay strong. We just need to understand that, as was said by Estonian minister, that they are fighting for us, especially for countries here in the eastern flank, including Slovakia, having the borders with Ukraine. We understand it very well, and that's why Slovakia stands ready to identify other potential the nation's potential help, and it was discussed very concretely today, and I'm sure we will do so tomorrow. So thank you for being here. Thank you for organizing this event, and thank you for sending such a strong signal, as was said, to Moscow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now we proceed to signing the joint declaration. We start with the Estonian minister, please.
Before I sign, just a couple of words, because we had also Polish Minister of Defense Mariusz Błaszczak and new Latvian Minister of Defense Inara Murniece with us today. They were not able to come because of the severe weather conditions. They were ready to fly out from Warsaw in the morning, but just there was no flight option to come here. So this is why they are signing the pledge. And also the Kajsa Ollongren from Netherlands and new Minister of Defense of Denmark, Jakob Ellemann-Jensen, will sign this pledge tomorrow in Ramstein. So this is a joint pledge, and I'm very happy that all the countries participating here have said clearly that this is a very needed initiative, and we really hope to get some very good news tomorrow from Ramstein. So we will start the signing.
Thank you very much. Now I kindly ask our staff to remove a lectern and the table, and we will have a group photo now. Please remain in front of the national flags. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Now it's time for the one-on-one interviews. I will add 10 minutes, so we have time until 16:10, and then we have to wrap up strictly.